What is going on, Player Profiler Nation? Seth Dewald here, editor of Player Profiler, here today to give you 7 sells that you should make in Dynasty post free agency in this post world that we live in. So without further ado, here we go. Dynasty sell number 1. It's got to be Russell Wilson. The Russell Wilson situation in Denver is one of the most fascinating stories in the NFL. Never before, to my knowledge, has a team cut a quarterback that not long ago traded a ton of assets for because the head coach simply couldn't stand him. Not to mention the $85 million dead cap hit the Broncos have endured because of Wilson's release. They also seemingly don't have a plan B at quarterback unless they're able to trade up in the NFL draft. Currently, the Denver Broncos starting quarterback is Jarrett Stidham. Yikes. Now Wilson heads to Pittsburgh, and while it is true that he has been promised the starting job by Mike Tomlin for this season, the Steelers also just traded for Justin Fields, which is interesting because Fields offers far more upside to the Pittsburgh Steelers at this stage of his career than Russell Wilson does. Additionally, Wilson didn't play well according to the metrics last season. He ranked number 27 in accuracy rating, number 27 in deep ball completion percentage, which was a strength of his before, number 21 in QBR, number 19 in clean pocket accuracy rating. And to be fair, Wilson did rank well in some metrics, number 9 in true passer rating, but the low yards per attempt, 6.9 yards per attempt, number 24 amongst quarterbacks, and the high wide receiver target separation, the Broncos wide receivers actually ranked number 3 in the NFL amongst target separation, make this stat not as impressive, and it's not outside the realm of possibility that Wilson plays poorly in Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin is an old school coach, just like Sean Payton is. Even if Wilson plays every snap this season, the selling window has officially opened on Russell Wilson. He's 35 years old and his play has been in decline for a while. The easiest move to me to make is to sell Wilson, buy Justin Fields in Dynasty. If the Steelers and Fields can work out a fair contract extension, it could be the very opportunity he needs to turn his career around. Monitor the situation regarding Justin Fields' 5th-year option closely. If the Steelers decide to pick that up, that means he's going to be in Pittsburgh for at least 2 years, and he's for sure a Dynasty buy if the Steelers decide to do that. Dynasty sell number 2 is Saquan Barkley. Before NFL free agency, my advice was to hold Barkley because there were very few scenarios where he would lose value. Well, he officially lands with one of the more sexy offenses in the NFL, and now's the time to sell him in Dynasty. And here's a few reasons why. Number 1, the Jalen Hurts factor. Last season with the Eagles, DeAndre Swift saw a career low in receptions with 39 and ranked number 22 amongst running backs in targets. Any running back playing with Hurts is likely going to receive less targets than they normally would, given his elite rushing ability at quarterback. Number 2, the red zone. Jalen Hurts in the red zone. Last season, Hurts led all quarterbacks in carries, red zone carries, and rushing touchdowns. This was due in large part to the tush push, which is now officially a legal play according to the NFL. Even though Jason Kelce has retired, I seriously doubt the Eagles are going to stop running this play. This is going to further limit Barkley's red zone opportunities. Therefore, he's going to be relying on his elite rushing ability and breakaway run ability to score touchdowns. The problem is that Barkley wasn't very efficient last season. He ranked number 51 amongst running backs in true yards per carry. Some of this can be blamed on the Giants' unbelievably bad offensive line and the fact that the starting quarterback, Daniel Jones, was hurt during the season, but still, this number is startlingly low for a running back as talented as Barkley. Barkley did rank number 15 amongst running backs in breakaway run rate and number 8 amongst running backs in breakaway runs in 2023. There's no doubt that Barkley has the talent to cash in on some of those breakaway runs, but his ceiling is likely going to be limited in this offense given Jalen Hurts and the other options the Eagles have. I haven't even mentioned A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert. Derrick Henry, this evaluation depends on where your dynasty team is. Are you rebuilding? Are you a win now? If the dynasty team is built to win now, there's no need to trade Derrick Henry for the return that is likely out there. However, if somehow Derrick Henry is on a dynasty team that needs a reboot, then this is an opportunity to trade him away at the highest possible value for a 30-plus-year-old running back. There were some signs that Henry slowed down a little bit last year. For starters, his snap share was down significantly, and he ranked number 25 amongst running backs in total snap share, despite playing in all 17 games. Now, somehow, Henry still ranked number 1 amongst running backs in total carries with 280. Now think about that for a second. That's crazy. Also, Henry ranked number 41 in true yards per carry amongst running backs, which isn't great. Henry still ranked highly according to some other efficiency metrics, however, including breakaway run rate, number 8 amongst running backs, evaded tackles, number 9 amongst running backs, and breakaway runs, number 2 amongst running backs in 2023. So there's still likely some tread on the tires. According to Keep Trade Cut, Henry is ranked as the RB18 in Dynasty Superflex formats and could net somewhere in the neighborhood of a mid-second round rookie pick. And again, if you're in that situation where you're a rebuilding team, I would take that deal in a heartbeat. Next dynasty sell is Marquise Brown. Sometimes the best dynasty sells are the hardest ones to make, and there's no doubt that trading away Marquise Hollywood Brown feels wrong after he signed with the Kansas City Chiefs, but now's the time to cash out on his current value. Brown slots in as the third option in the Kansas City passing offense. Additionally, the Chiefs could very well draft another wide receiver in this year's draft with their first round selection. They are likely going to have their pick of whatever wide receiver they like at number 32, and there's going to be plenty of good options to choose from in a wide receiver rich draft if they go that direction. Brown is a receiver that will be turning 27 years old. He's never finished higher than wide receiver 21 in fantasy points per game, despite playing with a high-octane Baltimore Ravens offense with Lamar Jackson. Currently, Brown is ranked as the wide receiver 34, player number 88 overall, according to Keep Trade Cut. Over his career, Brown has averaged out to be the wide receiver 37 in fantasy points per game. My guess is that someone will be willing to overpay for Brown, thinking that he's going to have a career year with the Chiefs. At the very least, a dynasty gamer should be able to acquire an early second-round rookie pick, maybe even a little bit more for Hollywood Brown, and that's a deal that I would make, trading away Hollywood Brown for a package like that. Calvin Ridley. In a shocking turn of events, the Titans signed Calvin Ridley to a 4-year contract worth up to $92 million with $50 million guaranteed. This pairs Ridley with the likes of DeAndre Hopkins, Treylon Burks, Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, and quarterback Will Levis. This makes the Tennessee offense an interesting group to say the least, and this grouping doesn't necessarily bode well for the wide receivers. Last season, granted under a different coaching staff, Tennessee attempted the lowest amount of passes in the NFL, tying with the Baltimore Ravens. The addition of Tony Pollard means this team is still going to be able to run the football quite a bit, as they now have 2 very capable running backs. Additionally, DeAndre Hopkins is going to eat into a good share of the targets. He looms in the shadows somehow of this deal. Last season, Hopkins earned 136 targets in this offense, and he is still the best wide receiver on this team. Sure, there's a world where the Titans trade Hopkins away and feature Ridley as their primary target, but it sure looks like they plan on surrounding their young quarterback with as much talent as they possibly can, at least in the short term, which is smart for the Titans. Currently, Ridley is valued as the wide receiver 40 on Keep Trade Cut and the number 100 overall player in their Dynasty Superflex rankings. At that evaluation, a Dynasty gamer could likely net a mid-second round pick in 2024, rookie pick, maybe something extra on top of that. With the wide receivers in this class, now is the perfect time to hit the reset button and cash out on Calvin Ridley before it's too late. A life raft has been thrown out into the desperate waters, and now, thanks to the Cleveland Browns, Jerry Jeudy finds himself paired with Deshaun Watson. The problem is that this is all basically a mirage. We're still surrounded in the endless desert that is Jerry Jeudy in Dynasty. The good news is not everyone might feel this way, considering Jeudy is going to turn just 25 years old, just signed a contract extension with his new team. The problem, of course, is there isn't any indication that Jeudy is anything more than an average NFL wide receiver. In 4 NFL seasons, he's never ranked higher than number 21 amongst wide receivers in targets, with 113 targets in his rookie season. Since then, he's only repeated as a 100-target wide receiver once in 2022, and he barely got there with just 100 targets in that season. The simple answer is Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns are likely not going to solve Jeudy's problems as a player. According to Keep Trade Cut, Jeudy ranks as the wide receiver 52 and the number 141 overall player in their Dynasty Superflex rankings. At that evaluation, a late second-round rookie pick plus might be in play for Jeudy. At that price, I'm willing to cash out and move on, especially in this class. Let someone else chase the life raft in the desert. The last player we're going to talk about, and it might go without saying, is Jonnu Smith. In a world where Jake Ferguson ranked as the tight end 9 in total fantasy scoring amongst tight ends, Taysom Hill ranked number 7, David Njoku resurged number 5 amongst tight ends in total fantasy scoring respectively, Jonnu Smith has never finished higher than tight end 13 in fantasy points per game. However, this is a brand new world we live in where Jonnu Smith is a Miami Dolphin. Is it possible Smith delivers on the potential he's never really lived up to? Yes, I suppose. Is it likely? No, it's not. Even after Smith won the heart of Arthur Smith in Atlanta, he's still only ranked number 20 amongst tight ends in targets, number 20 in fantasy points per game. With the Dolphins, he is going to be in competition with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Devon Achane for targets and opportunities. It goes without saying that those players are more dynamic than Jonnu Smith, and the Dolphins have never really shown a propensity to feature their tight ends under Mike McDaniel. If there is any value to be had for Jonnu Smith, now's the time to take what can be had for him, because there isn't a world where he enters a fantasy lineup, even in tight end premium formats. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to click the like button, subscribe to the channel for more content, and be tapped in to Player Profiler all season long. There's no off season in Dynasty, as we all know, so stay tapped in. And until next time, be good, everybody, and we'll see you later.